Hey friends! It has been a while since I posted a video. So much life has happened over the summer, and I can't wait to dive into it with you today. Okay, so let's start off with a life update. If you notice, I'm not in my classroom right now, and that's been a whole tricky situation. But over the summer, we had our little boy Malachi. He was born in July, and I was on maternity leave. About 2 weeks before he was born, I was contacted by a family friend. This is gonna drive me crazy. That knew of a job opening and asked me about it, asked me if I was ready to leave the classroom or, how I felt about it. And so I went ahead and went with it. I took the leap of faith. I felt like this was what God was calling me to do next. So I interviewed and I got the position, and now I am a Texas School Ready coach. So I get to go into at-risk child care centers and support their teachers and helping them become the best that they can be, kind of helping them plan lessons and helping them with classroom management and all of those things. And I'm so excited to help those teachers. Today I want to share some tips with you that I've learned kind of over these past 3 years of being a mom and a teacher, of how to get it all done. How to be a mom, be a teacher, and still enjoy this life and not feel like I'm drowning all the time. So let's get into it. The first tip I have for you is probably the most important, and that is to leave work at work. Your time with your family after the day ends is so important, and it's so just a sacred time to be with your family. And you don't want to interrupt that by having to continue doing work even after you've been at work all day and away from your kids. So leave work at work. Use your planning times wisely. Maybe cut down on some talking. If you're like me, I had to cut that out so that I could go home to my babies. Cut down on talking during your planning times. Maybe you might even use a little bit of your lunchtime, kind of eat while you work and get some things done. Because let's be honest, we really don't have a lunchtime anyways. Or you might even give yourself a little bit of time before school or after school. I used to kind of get to school maybe like 20 minutes early. And then I would leave school about 30 minutes later, 30 to 45 minutes later. And that just gave me, that's about an extra hour that I had to get things done in the day. So one thing that helped with that was at the end of the day, I always had a timer on my phone. My cutoff time was 4:30. So at 4:30, I was done no matter what. And I would go get my babies and go home and love on them and play with them. So that might be something you have to do, is just to set a timer and alarm on your phone that tells you to stop. And it's hard if you're used to bringing work home, or like I was the type that I would not come home till 6. I would work on Saturdays and Sundays up at the school. I was all into it. And so it might take you some time, slowly cutting it down. So you might prioritize and do a few tasks, kind of tackle out a few tasks at a time. Maybe it's getting your copies in order for the next week. Maybe it's getting ahead on lesson plans, doing things like that. The next tip I have for you is to prep sub-plans ahead of time. Because if you're a parent, there's going to be times when your kids get sick in the middle of the night, or when you first wake up in the morning and you notice they're running fever, that you're going to have to drop everything at the drop of a hat and get stuff ready for a sub. And if you're dealing with a sick baby at home, that's the last thing you want to do. So my encouragement to you is to kind of have a sub tub. So go ahead and have sub plans that are generic for the whole year, things that your kids are going to be working on the whole year no matter what, so you don't have to try and figure out what your kids are working on that week. Have a generic lesson plan. Maybe it's math facts if you teach older kids. Maybe it's counting or subitizing if you're younger kids. But have those lesson plans ready. Have everything you need in that subtub. Have the copies done. Have the books you need. Have everything you might need for that sub in that tub. That way, that morning, instead of you scrambling to find everything, you can just text whoever at your school that you contact and say, hey, my sub tub is on my shelf and everything's in there. That just streamlines it and makes it easier for you and for the sub, along with all your coworkers, because they're not scrambling trying to get your stuff ready on top of what they need to do. Number 3 is and kind of the rest of these are for your life at home. So number 3 is to do everything humanly possible the night before. Do not try and get your whole life together in the morning, because I promise you it isn't going to happen. Or you're going to be late every single day and feel rushed every single day. Some things that I do at night that have really been helping me is after I put my kids to bed, I will tidy up the house, kind of pick up all the extra things, make sure it's tidy. I will empty the sink and start the dishwasher. Make lunches. So I make lunches for my husband and my kids. Make sure that everything, or at least everything I need for their lunch, is ready. Make sure the bottles for my littlest one now that's in daycare, make sure he has all the bottles he needs for daycare. Thankfully, my daycare is really cool, and you might contact yours. They will just keep a whole bag of breast milk and bottles at daycare, so I don't have to worry about sending those back and forth each day. So you might contact your daycare and see if you can do that as well. Check folders, make sure there's nothing you need to sign or return the next day, and lay out everybody's clothes the night before. I do lay out their clothes before they go to bed, just because I don't want to be going in and out of their rooms and risking waking them up. So I make sure everybody has their clothes lined out and ready to go, and that includes socks and shoes, because you don't want to be running around trying to find those in the morning. And to tag off of that, do not believe your brain, because you're gonna be tired after work and you're just gonna put your PJs on and go to bed. Don't believe your brain when it tells you you can go to bed, you'll just do it in the morning. Don't do it, folks. Don't do it, because trust me, that will be the morning that you wake up late and you're scrambling for time and you're having to do everything that morning. Naturally, the morning you're late. So just trust me, power through and get everything done the night before, and you won't regret it. All right, let's see what else I have on here. One thing that has helped me the most to stay on top of my home life, so I'm not feeling stressed out at home, is to do one load of laundry every day or every other day, and emptying the sink every night. Those two things have been crucial for me, because I'm not spending my whole weekend catching up on laundry. And also, when I'm picking up the house every night, I'm not spending my whole Saturday picking up the house before I do a weekly clean and reset of our home, before I'm having to mop and all of that. If my house is already tidy, it makes the process so much faster and just gives me more time with my family and myself on the weekends. All right, lastly, the last thing I want to leave you with is a challenge for yourself. So a few years ago, I ran across Pocketful of Primary on YouTube, and she mentioned that she does the Teacher 3. Every single week, she does one thing for herself, one thing for her classroom, and one thing for her students. And I loved this so much. But now that I'm a mom, I kind of want to tweak it and make a mom edition. So I'm going to challenge you to do the Teacher Mom 3. And that is every single week, do one thing for yourself. It could be a bubble bath at the end of the day. It could be making your favorite dinner or ordering your favorite takeout one night. It could be going to get a pedicure. However you make that happen, one thing for yourself. Do one thing for your family. going to the park, having a picnic somewhere, having a movie night, planning a fun dinner, baking together, maybe just spending extra time playing with your kids, or planning a fun game for y'all to play. Okay, one thing for yourself, one thing for your family, and lastly, one thing for your classroom or students. Maybe it's making a certain routine in your classroom run smoother that's been really hectic. Maybe it's buying something that you really need for your classroom. Maybe it's planning a fun activity for your kids in your class, or planning a fun Friday. Maybe it's, writing your kids' special notes, or calling their parent one day, doing a fun, parent positive phone call day where you make positive phone calls for your kiddos and tell their parents great things they've done. But if you will just challenge yourself to do those 3 things every single week, maybe mark it on your calendar so you can check it off, it will help your mindset so much and just help you feel so relaxed and so less stressed. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. Give yourself grace. There's going to be days when you are just tired and you do just hop in your PJs and get in bed because you're so exhausted. So give yourself grace and let those days happen. But I hope these tips helped you. Even though I'm not in my own classroom, I'm hoping that I can still provide good content for y'all and help you any way that I can, in the classrooms that I'm going into and helping those teachers, kind of giving you ideas through that. So bear with me as I figure this all out. If you love my channel, be sure to like and subscribe. If there's anything that you're struggling with in your classroom that I could help you with, put it in the comments below, and I'd love to help you and be that community and that support system for you. As always, remember that you're the best teacher for your littles, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye, friends.